Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today I'm going to be showing you a video on my top recent absolute CAS favorites. So I've had a lot of people ask me like maybe my go-to CAS creators, and I have so much CC, it's like unreal. I think I'm borderlining like 200 or something like that in my mods folder. So I clearly have a problem. But I do always have a set of CAS. I usually just say CAS presets, if you will, that I put on every single sim. And so today I'm going to be making this sim really quickly to show you how she looks from start to finish. And then I'm going to link everything that I use in her below. And those are like always my go-tos. I always use the same eyes, the shadows, the pores, everything like that. And so let's get into it. So now usually the first thing that I do is I always try to go for the eyes. I kind of try to have a vision of what the sim looks like in my head. And so I'll try to pick their eyes shape, manipulate their head, all that stuff. So the one thing that I will always tell everybody to get is the More CAS presets mod. That is incredible. It gives you a ton of like eyes, noses, mouths, even like head shape, cheeks, everything. So you can kind of go through and mix and match and manipulate it how you want. The eyes, so this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I have converted my favorite eyes by the Sims 3 Melancholic. I believe that's how you say it. They're actually contacts. They are not default eyes. However, I have changed them to default eyes. I cannot share those because that belongs to that creator. However, I will link the contacts below. So you would use them probably under face paint, I believe, is usually where the contacts show up. So I talked about manipulating your Sim's head, and all that means is the Sim's face shape in general to me seems very like bulbous and round, especially in men. And if you don't know me, I specialize in making male Sims. So over this course of time that I've been making them, I always change their head shape. So I take the top of their head and I kind of squish it almost a little bit because their heads look literally like an egg. I don't know who came up with the head shape of these Sims, but they look ridiculous, and females look bad too, but not as bad as males. So I always manipulate the head shape. I always elongate the jaw, and I move down usually the nose and the mouth. That's personal preference. I just like how that looks. You don't have to do that. But when it comes to a Sim looking a little bit more realistic, I always say to manipulate the shape of their head. Now, in order to do that and to do that well, you're going to need facial sliders. Again, everything will be linked below. Facial sliders move the head, nose, they can move the mouth, the eyes, the forehead, the jaw, everything. You can get very, very specific into where you can manipulate the head however you want, or if you want to go like super detailed or just a little bit. I highly recommend sliders, even if you just want to do like just a head slider or a forehead slider, just so that way it gives you a lot more capability to make your sim look more realistic and be able to kind of move around the shape of their face more so than what the game allows you to do. So another thing that is really, really important when you're creating a sim is to create a lot of shadows. So if you want your sim to look more realistic like I do, I don't like skin blends that make them look very plastic. So again, I created a default skin myself. I converted it myself. And this is from, I cannot remember off the top of my head. It might honestly be from Sims 3 Melancholic as well, but I converted one of their non-default skins to default. So I am able to have that on my Sims from the base. And I use that all the time. And the reason why I use that one is because it doesn't make them look plastic. I don't like when they look really flat. So I use tons of shadows. So when I'm like shadowing their face and kind of outlining their face, I accentuate like the Cupid's bow. I accentuate in where the nose is, in the jawline sometimes. And I always make sure that I add pores. So I know that sounds really weird and silly, but adding pores to your Sim's face makes them look so realistic. It just kind of makes it pop, especially when you're taking a picture and you can kind of see just a little bit more of a detail in their face so they're not so flat looking. Now, you can always have fun with this. You can add freckles, you can add moles, you can add vitiligo. There's all kinds of things to make your Sims look more unique and realistic. I always say to go for it. Do that, make them look unique and rare. And I love when Sims look like that. So a lot of times I use freckles. You don't want to use freckles like all the time so your Sims don't look repetitive, but like use one that maybe has a birthmark and then another one that has freckles or something like that. And the biggest thing and the best thing I can tell you is to use a highlighter. So always highlight the parts of the face like the forehead and in where the eyes are, and then right above the lips. It always adds dimension. So that's the biggest thing for me personally. And when people always say how realistic my Sims look or how different they look, it's literally just adding all those skin details. You can make your Sim look, you don't have to make them look amazing. If you just add these little kind of details to make them more realistic, that's how they're going to look a lot better. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to wrap up showing you what she looks like. And I put her in some really cute CC pieces that I found recently. And I hope that this helped in some way. I know I say this a lot on stream, and I know a lot of people have questions about it, but I hope that showing this video and explaining it a little bit in more detail has made it easier for you to create a Sim. So I hope that you also find some great creators down below that maybe you didn't know of before. And that's it. Enjoy making beautiful Sims. Have fun. The biggest thing too is don't compare yourself. Don't look at people's Sims and be like, I wish I could do that. Your Sim is beautiful how you make it. Just work on practicing more, add more skin details, and your Sim is going to look fantastic. And you know what? They probably already do look fantastic. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it is helpful. And yeah, have a wonderful day wherever you are around this big, beautiful world. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.